we kind of tackled this in three major phases. The first was we were trying to prevent more people from becoming addicted. Secondly, people who were addicted, we were trying to save their lives and get them focused into treatment and prevent more medication from being diverted out of the medical system. And then the third piece was to make sure that we were reforming and enhancing our treatment system to make sure that people were able to recover. So on the first front, one of the things we did was we passed a bill, House Bill 314, that prevents doctors from prescribing an opiate to a minor, somebody who's underage, typically somebody like 16, 17. The second piece is that people who are addicted tend to doctor shop. So they'll go for one doctor and complain about a headache and get a prescription. They'll go to the next doctor, complain about a backache. In some cases, so that's kind of the nefarious scenario. In other scenarios, it's quite innocent. You may go to the ER. The ER doesn't know that you just got a script from your dentist, and so they double up the script, and you give people a lot of this medication, which in general, you don't want people obviously to go down that path. So the solution for that is statewide we have a database that records what everybody gets in terms of an opiate prescription or a benzodiazepine prescription. Those are things like Ritalin or Xanax. And so we made a requirement statewide to make sure that you check the database before you write these opiate scripts so you see what people are getting from other doctors. The other piece that we did there in terms of closing down the chain of custody is on the hospice side. We gave hospice both the responsibility but also the authority to make sure that they can go in at the end of life after somebody passes when they no longer need those medications. Hospice can go in and destroy those medications now. And then on the treatment end, we did a number of things. We funded $10 million for recovery housing and also created a network of recovery housing in the state to try to ensure higher quality recovery housing, because when people want to start up a recovery house, sometimes they're not sure as to how to do it. So we created a network statewide that has best practices and connects you with other recovery houses that are doing. So we did some money for the drug courts. We did things on the recovery housing piece, and then the final piece we did on the treatment, as we said, we don't even know what people are waiting for in terms of treatment. And we know we have gaps in our treatment system, but we don't know what they are. So we created a waiting list, the first statewide waiting list, so we can tell what people are waiting for which services in each county. So finally, we've got a statewide look at what our treatment capabilities are and also what the gaps are in our system. Then there's some pieces that we didn't get done, some pieces that I wanted to get done that we haven't been able to get done. One of them is the Good Samaritan bill, Grandpa Tony's bill, that we've worked on extensively. I've tried very, very hard to get it out of committee, and I just haven't been successful. I just didn't have the votes.
You plan on that being reintroduced?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're gonna do a couple things with that bill. I'm hopeful. I'm going to try to, instead of just doing a straight Good Samaritan bill, and the next time, I'm going to combine it with a standing order for naloxone. And that's another piece that I forgot to mention. Another piece that we passed was naloxone is this drug that basically you administer it when somebody's having an overdose. It's like a flu mist, a nasal flu mist.
Is it like the Narcan?
Narcan, yeah,
okay.
It's Narcan. So. And it basically allows any family member or emergency responder like a fire department or ambulance team or police officer to carry the Narcan with them. And so if somebody's having an overdose, you can just give them the Narcan and it kicks the opioid off your mu receptor and you just wake up, you recover. And then also we're going to look at, I think that there's, we got to start differentiating in our criminal code, in my opinion, between people who are addicts, people who are addicted, struggling with addiction, and then people who are drug dealers. So Good Samaritan bill may have some of that in it as well. For instance, there was an increased penalty for drug dealers that give these heroin to pregnant women. The same as if you would deal heroin within 1,000 feet of a school, the increased penalties. So we'll look at that for the Good Samaritan. So I'm going to come back with the Good Samaritan next year. We've got to get that passed. It's critical because we have over 1,900 Ohio citizens dying each year from drug overdose.